Cross Atlantic Gaming is pleased to be sponsored by Fade Grips. Go to www.fadegrips.store, type in CAG20 for 20% off your whole purchase. That's right, 20% off with CAG20. Do it now.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 26 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts Chocolate Bear.
How you doing?
And Doc H1X1.
Well, hello.
We don't have a guest this week. This feels like I was gonna call it the good old days, but that kind of puts a negative connotation on our guest.
No, actually, that fits in with our Patreon bashing. So go
perfect.
ahead.
Yeah. So good to be back with everybody. I wasn't here last week, but I'm here now, and that's all that matters, right?
Well, hopefully you're going to put Doc in his place when he starts talking.
Whoa.
Yeah, I looked at the time of the recording. It was like, this isn't a mailbag episode. Why is it over 2 hours long?
Standing right here, guys.
Oh.
Standing right here.
Oh, Doc led the show. No, it was great. It was a great episode, and I think a lot of people agree. All right, quick, let's get some show notes out of the way. Patreon. We have lots of Patreon announcements. First of all, our newest patron, Aeroben Kenobi.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, for the support.
Thank you.
If you would like to support the show like Aeroben, you can head over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. And if you do that, you enter yourself for a chance to win our Patreon game giveaway, which is going to take place right now. So let me quick put everybody's names into here. Well, I already did that because that would take a really long time if I hadn't done that. All right. Just going to randomize it. Can I please get a drum roll? That was a weak drum roll, but our winner is the one, the only, the Chin Doctor.
What?
Oh, that means I've got to pay for it. Oh, god damn it.
I mean, it's the least we can do. I mean, after the thrashing in the Pod Wars, so.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Boy.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, the who won again? I don't know.
Compensation for all of the... Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't going to go anywhere.
Thank you for throwing the
PG-13.
game.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Yeah, so congrats to Chin Doctor. We'll get a hold of you in the next couple days here. I'm always torn because I don't know if I should like message people directly and be like, hey, you won. They're like, oh, hey, I would have rather listened to the episode and not had this spoiled, but thanks for nothing. So maybe we'll give it like 24 hours and then I'll reach out to you.
Yeah.
If you haven't already reached out to me, we'll see who wins.
Congrats.
All right.
That'll work.
Yeah, congrats, Chin, and thanks for your support. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Our next drawing will be same time next month.
What, like?
So plenty of time.
At 1 a.m. UK time.
And,
at 1 a.m.
Yeah,
UK time.
Yeah,
Chocolate's
also, yeah.
preferred podcast recording hours.
God damn it, no, it's not.
We also have our snapshot contest running. Did you want me to talk about this right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lead straight into it.
I didn't know if this was left from last week, but yeah, Chocolate, go ahead.
Oh, so you're just literally passing me it?
Yeah, it's in your purple color, and I didn't ask about it before the show. So yeah, do you want to give us an update on the snapshot contest?
This pre-show conversations are really paying off now.
Yeah, I'm glad we do this an hour before.
They always do.
Yeah.
So, our snapshot contest, last month's is up on YouTube. Lidonian was the winner. But if you want to win for this month, all you need to do is go join. We are Cross Atlantic Gaming, aren't we? I'm just trying to think.
Yes.
We are on the clubs.
Yes, the
right.
Cross Atlantic Gaming Club on
Xbox Live.
Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox Live. Upload your best, worst. Stop laughing, you put me off. Terrible
I can't
clip.
help it.
It also doesn't have to be a clip. It could be a photo as well. of in-game
Photo
play.
of something in game.
Yeah,
Yep.
not
True, yeah.
not anything dodgy.
Gonna open this up to some weird stuff.
I
this
could have done. Please stop, Dan Pod. Putting loads of clips in there. I'm going to bash him until he stops uploading 2-minute
Or at
clips.
least curate them.
Yeah.
Curate them better, maybe.
Well, what I said was that when we look at the contestants this month, if you submitted, I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to ask you which video you think is the best and which one you'd like to submit, so we don't have to go through
To which
1,000
Dan
hours
Pod-
of Dan Pod stuff.
That's
Yeah, Dan Paul would just reply, "What do you mean? I sent like 50. I don't know."
yeah. That one clip I sent that was 30 minutes long. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you just got to go find it.
Yeah, and then next month we will choose who the winner is, and you will get $10 or pounds of a gift card of your choosing.
And there it is.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can also find the video that Chocolate made of all the contestants on our YouTube channel, and the links for that are in the show notes. So go give us a like, a follow, watch that video, do all those good things.
I'll definitely give us a like and a follow and a sub. Let's get rid of those weird numbers. on
That's
our
true.
YouTube.
We'd like to have youtube.com/CAG
Oh, yeah.
podcast. So go over there and sub. That would be great. If each one of you listening did it, we would be there. Like
Yesterday.
that. Yes, that too. All right. Anyways, another week in gaming. What have you guys been up to? I'm going to avoid Doc as long as possible, so I'm going to start with you, Chocolate. What'd you get into this past week?
Not a great deal of gaming. We went down south to see family, so I only played FIFA and Rocket League. And yes, I played Rocket League for a few matches. You might
And
get to
we
see
will
how...
talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
One might say you were the MVP of one of the games.
What? Me? No. I'm a Rocket...
No one's going to believe that.
Yeah. I may have some data to prove that I was.
Without
Undoctored data.
editing and post.
Listen,
Put an asterisk on that.
well, me and Eric were talking again. We're trying to mend this relationship, and I do believe he has some talents, and he might just come back on board. But we'll see. We've got to discuss his rates of pay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, because bread and water's not cutting it anymore.
Is he also locked in a cage under your house or something?
I'm not an
anything, yeah.
animal. No, he lives
Oh,
in the
okay.
garden.
Oh, perfect. Like a gnome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wonderful. Anything in FIFA that you want to update us on? How's the Ultimate Team doing?
Ultimate Team's doing well. I think since last time I spoke about it, I did the Weekend League last weekend. So that's the most competitive part of the online Ultimate Team. And oh my god, people are good. So
Yeah.
I got my backside handed to me a few times. But yeah, it's good. I'm going to be competing next weekend. So you'll see me on FIFA constantly all weekend.
Are you guys in the middle of a tournament or something right now? Or a mini season? Like 10 of you from the community or something? I feel
yes.
like I keep seeing stuff.
You keep popping your head in that channel every
Into the
now and then.
FIFA chat
Yeah.
on Discord.
So on Discord, we've got, thanks to Sweeney, has made a FIFA League. So all the guys are in it. I think you're right. There's 10 competitors playing 2 games a week. Sweeney has lost his first, well, not the first
What?
league match, but Sweeney has
What?
lost the match.
To
Shut
who?
your mouth.
Who is it?
10,000
Who is our
fists.
champion?
10,000.
10,000.
Shut your mouth.
What?
I knew I liked that guy.
He is also top of the league. He is reigning at the moment champion.
Has he lost a game?
He's not. No, I think he's 4-4 at the
Oh,
moment.
wow.
He has
I kind of want
taken a good lead. Good lead.
Huh.
Did they record the match between him and Sweeney? Because I kind of want to watch that now.
It was streamed actually, so hopefully the VOD's on Sweeney's Mixer channel, which I would say watch it now because I'm sure he'll delete it when this podcast goes out.
Hide all of the evidence.
Yeah, and it was quite amusing to listen to the both of them because they're quite vocal in FIFA. So
That's probably rated M for mature stream.
I think it was rated Rage for 2
I
rages.
got a little heated.
Yeah, so it was a great game. I watched it. And I'm very happy that Sweeney lost because it opens up this league no end. So we could have a new reigning champion in FIFA.
Gonna have to send him a big old wrestling champion belt.
Oh,
Yeah.
the trouble is he's quite little, so it'd only make him smaller.
Oh. So maybe don't do that. For him.
No, vertically challenged. I'll get him a kid's version.
Right back to patron bashing.
And then the last thing, how are pro clubs coming along? Do you guys have a team? Have you gotten your matches in yet or anything?
So I've been off for pro clubs, but again, 10,000 Fists and Lion Prime have been holding the fort with pro clubs. They're big pro club players as well.
Okay, so do just the two of them play? That works out that way then?
Yeah. So as long as you've got more than one, two's your
nice.
minimum. So they've been trying. I think we got relegated a few months back. I know.
What?
Are they bringing us back up?
Well, they best be.
Well, I mean,
Chocolate's
10,000
cracking the
fists
whip.
sounds like he should be able to.
You would think that. But I think the way the competitive pro clubs is running at the moment, it's a steep curve as well as the bugs that FIFA always has. But we'll get there.
Fair enough.
We'll get
Like you
there.
said, a lot of really talented online players out there. So
Yeah, and people do abuse the mechanics of the game, which so
really?
you should. Yeah, if there is a
So you
spot,
would say there's some cheese going on here?
I think the cheese is smelly, and people are enjoying the cheese.
All right,
Okay,
good.
all right. Now you still not put any real world money into? this
No,
game?
I am, which I'm so
proud of you.
surprised. I'm proud of myself, to be honest, because there's a few times I've been going, oh, I haven't got enough money for that person. Let's drop some, but no, £0 has been spent on FIFA this year.
Is everybody sticking with that still? Or is it a sore
Everyone who's-
subject that I shouldn't bring up?
No,
Oh
everyone,
wow, that was a lengthy pause. Yeah.
Well, there was a pause because so when 10,000 Fists joined Discord, he previously bought FIFA points, but at present he hasn't spent any money.
Oh, well, now we know why he's beating everybody.
What?
Paid a winner.
whoa.
Well,
No, he's not a page. Oh, can't
Yeah.
bash him.
No,
Sorry.
you can't.
Keep on keeping on, 10,000 Fists.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Yep.
hint.
Well played. Way to course correct there.
So yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're playing with level teams, so it's not a case of your ultimate team versus my ultimate team. It's you pick the rules stipulate you pick a 5-star team against a 5-star team, so it gives it a little bit of
Theoretically, it's a level playing field.
yeah, to a certain degree.
So you don't get to play as Man U then. So who are you picking?
But, well, I have been picking. My last team I picked was Juventus from Italy,
Okay.
and
Where Ronaldo's there now, right?
yes, he's a cheat. He is the cheese. He is the cheese.
Just pass him the ball and go.
He is the cheese.
Pass him
okay.
the ball or throw him across. He'll header it. He'll super overhead kick it. He's a beast.
Stat line, just 99, 99, 99, 99.
I'm sure that was in his contract. I must be the best player. But yeah, it's near enough. Everything is ridiculously high.
You say that, but I wonder if that's how that works.
If that's a
sometimes.
real
like
thing.
if you're the cover guy, if like there's like a clause in your contract, like I will be the best rated player in this game.
I don't.
Like,
It must be. Or they would say we'll make you the best player.
I
just think
hope
it's
that's not
funny.
a thing. That's so messed up, but could
Yeah.
totally be a thing.
Well, like
Yeah.
Madden has it, don't they? They always have. Oh, you're on the cover, so you're going to be injured for the rest of the season. High five.
That's the Madden curse.
That's a whole separate kind of thing. But yeah, totally.
So yeah, we would make you the best player, but you're injured. Oh.
Good stuff.
So what have you been playing, Risky? Because obviously we're going to avoid Doc.
Yeah, I'm
Guys are
actually
so mean.
at the end of me talking, I'm just gonna put us directly into the next segment and not give him a chance.
I'm just like, but
I mean, I'm boring though. I had 2 weeks off since the last show, and I don't have much to show for it as far as things that aren't Blackout or.
I mean, I think Moose kind of already
Oh,
gave
God.
us a spoiler alert about what you've been playing.
Yeah, Moose sent me my stats today. It was like 107 hours played of Blackout, and I was like, well, it's been out like 3 or 4 months, right? It's like, no, it's been out 30 days. And then I did some math, and it was like you're averaging 3.5 hours a day. And I was like, well, I need to really
well now.
rethink some things here. Yeah, and that's just Call of Duty. I've been playing some Red Dead. One thing I did start though was Moonlighter, because that came out for Switch. Well,
It's a good game.
it was either last week or the week before. Yeah, it's super unique. I love how it's dungeon crawly, but then it's also like that weird economy run
Totally.
a business thing. And like you see
Like,
the little
don't-
people walk into your shop and he picks up or like looks at an item and he just puts like this super happy face and you're like, God, nailed the price of that one. And then the
Yep,
next guy
yep.
comes in and he looks pissed and you're like, guess I need to lower the price. And like you can't sell too many of the same items because
Yeah, you don't
then
want to
demand's
price
not
it
high
too
enough.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's completely unique. It definitely gives me some Stardew vibes.
A little bit. Yeah, totally.
I think it's just the whole like running something or like something being your own.
Well, you can upgrade stuff in the town too, so it's got that kind of like you're building up, stuff kind of in a way too. So.
Right. And I mean, I'm not super far into it, but I like it. Kind of seems like you're gonna be progressing into each dungeon once you're good enough or like high enough leveled or whatever. Because there's 4 that are open right now, and I'm only allowed to go into one of them because merchants are allowed in there, and that's technically what I am or whatever.
Right.
So it's like I can go down into the beginner dungeon. But then there's 3 other that'll open, and then it seems like the whole point of the game is to open up this crazy, fantastical 5th dungeon that holds all the best loot. And I'm assuming that's like you're getting into like end game at that point. It's a lot of fun though, and I definitely suggest it. I think it was, I want to say $25, and it runs fine on the Switch. I intentionally waited for this version because I didn't want to buy it on my Xbox because I knew it was coming to Switch, and I was like, that's pretty much the perfect place for a game like this. So
Yeah.
from the little bit I've played of it, it's a lot of fun.
Gives me a Zelda
It's-
vibe looking at the YouTube video of it.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
look wise, I guess.
Yeah, look wise,
Yeah.
definitely.
What did you think of the inventory stuff, Risky? Did you like that aspect of it in terms of like, kind of like managing what slot certain things are in and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's it's like a whole separate like mini game kind of.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good addition to it. It gives you one more thing to one more little system to worry about and play with. Yeah, it's good. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but like I stated earlier, I've been playing a disgusting amount of Blackout, so I think I'm up to 75 wins now. I think maybe I'll just retire at 100. I think might be.
That's nothing to scoff at, man. 75 wins of Battle Royale is
Yeah,
a
but
lot
you
of
gotta
wins.
think how much I'm actually
When you
playing
did-
it. It's like 1 win every 5 hours. Maybe isn't that great.
Risky's like, let me stop you there real quick and hit you with some numbers.
Yeah, I mean it is cool because it does give you stats. Like you can check your win percentage. So I think that's probably the best gauge of how
Yeah.
you're doing. But there's also like because there's a lot of times that we'll just drop at random spots and just be dicking around, like not playing
Yeah,
seriously. And
yeah.
like you're not gonna win if you're not in the mindset to win. So
Or maybe just like a warm up game. We're gonna land this heavy area and just kind of warm up or whatever.
yeah. And they did have their first, it's over at this point, but this past weekend they had their first, it's like a double XP reward for the contraband system, which is like the battle pass.
Mhm.
So instead of going up a level every hour, it seemed like you went up a level every half hour. And I've played so much of this game, and I'm only at, I think I hit 80 maybe. And that's like 100 hours in.
See, I was gonna ask you because and this is not me in any way whatsoever trashing on the game whatsoever because I don't actually know what I'm talking about in this sense. So I'm gonna kind of divert to you on this.
Yeah, you're good.
But you know how early on we kind of talked about how like it seemed like really weird choice for them to make it all based on time. You know, as far as how you level up the tiers. But then a lot of people on a lot of articles I read, especially on Kotaku, were kind of pointing out the fact that like that actually makes perfect sense if you then put in microtransactions where you can buy tiers.
Oh, which is exactly what they did, and it's what we all
Yeah.
knew was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, Did you actually think that they were going to put them into where you could literally just buy levels, though? Or...
I mean, it was definitely a thought because you can do that in Fortnite. I don't.
Oh, okay, all right.
A lot of people don't do it because Fortnite's tier system
more attainable.
is for like a normal person. Like if I keep up, even if I keep up the pace that I'm at, I'll definitely hit it. But 3.5 hours a day is way too much.
And you're still not halfway, right?
And I'm still not halfway there. So
there's 200, right?
200 altogether, yeah. I killed somebody. I don't know if you can get this skin in like a random crate, but I killed someone with the tier 199 like skin. And I was like, you either have a lot of money or way too much time. But then I'm curious if you can get stuff on the normal tier system in like a random drop. So,
yeah, I'm kind of interested now then how much money theoretically it would cost to go from 1 to 200 if you actually paid for it.
I mean, someone could definitely give you those numbers because it tells, I think it's 300 Call of Duty points per tier. And then obviously you can look at, there's going to be a best value here, Doc. I promise there is.
Yeah, now you're talking
$99.99 for
all right,
50
all right.
Call of
Duty. But I basically
points.
get 20 free levels when I do that, though, right?
Maybe. You'd
value
like to think
wise,
so.
I mean, come on. You said best value.
That's true.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you
definitely
still
better
won't
than
hit 200.
Exactly. One cool thing that they did recently, though, is they unlocked a bunch of the normal like specialists. You have like these missions within game that you have to like find a piece in a crate, and then you have some objectives to do. Like one guy, you have to find his boxing gloves, and then you have to get a close quarters kill. And if you keep the boxing gloves in your inventory until the end of the game, you unlock that character to play with. So now they've unlocked all of them. It's like all the zombies and all of the normal specialists from normal multiplayer. You can attain them all now, and it's all through like stuff you find randomly and then additional tasks afterward. So it's kind of cool, not just getting them for playing X amount. It's like if you see somebody with a certain skin and know that that was a hard challenge that they had to get there, it's kind of cool seeing that people have earned that stuff rather than just hours. They actually had to do something skillfully, but those are all unlocked now, so that's kind of cool.
That's super. I've always thought, like, from early on when I kind of started seeing that stuff is really neat and a really original idea they came up with for stuff like that.
One thing they're doing right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would argue that everything about it maybe, I mean, I don't know, microtransactions are what they are, but it sounds like just about everything else about that game is pretty awesome. So.
That's true. And really, it's like if you don't care about any of that stuff, you have what, in my opinion, is pretty much a perfect Battle Royale game. And they're making changes every, like, 9 bangs, like the Flash, they're like a flashbang. They were such an issue that they've just removed them from the game from now until they rebalance them and figure out, like, where they need to sit or like how much they actually blind people and stuff like that. So it's like every week they're nerfing, buffing, taking a look at everybody's complaints. It's probably the most support I've ever seen on like a weekly basis from any Call of Duty dev. And this is Treyarch, and which is probably my favorite hands down. But they're definitely, they're going to turn this into something good. It's only been 30 days and they've made a ton of changes. It's just that one of them had to be microtransactions. That was inevitable. But
so that's like Fortnite level of support there then. So far.
And I think they'll get there someday. Fortnite still crushes it with that whole game.
Just
But they also just have to worry about the one game. Well, I don't know if Save the World or whatever it was called is even a game mode anymore. Is that doing gangbusters?
That's where you get your V-Bucks.
Right, I think that's the only reason people actually play it. Not positive, but
just saying.
That's been me for the most part, though. I guess leading in to what Doc's about to do to you all.
Oh, yeah.
I did play the opening, that whole opening mission for Battlefield 5. The like montage of all the different years and places. Yeah. It's kind of like a mini campaign intro, like an interactive intro. Does that make sense, Doc?
Yeah, totally.
That was really good. I've never had like an opening of a game be that solid, I feel like.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had been following everything about this game, so I kind of knew what to expect early on from people that had kind of been hinting about it. But that was really cool, though, how they kind of just dropped you in different theaters of war and like kept like given historical lines of like this the various places people fought and everything. And I thought it was really well done. Totally, it's a really good looking game too. Honestly, from that prologue also.
That was, I think, Kaboski in Discord. He posted 2 pictures from Battlefield, and I was like, "Wow, are those in game?" And then I got to that scene in the intro where you're like slowly backing up and like shooting your pistol while you're on your back, like against enemies running in, and it blows my mind how good that game looks.
Video games are getting really impressive. Like we've had that Red Dead 2 and stuff. It's like it's getting kind of crazy with how the visual fidelity of some of this stuff.
Like such a high bar is being set where it's like anybody who's not quite up there, it's just like, wow, why does your game look so bad? Even though like a year ago it would have looked incredible.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's one thing we just have to get ready for. Like that we're going to keep saying over and over is, wow, this game looks so good, because we're finally getting a lot of our releases to just look mind-blowingly good. And this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I mean, because theoretically, eventually we're going to get to the point where there's they can't put any more pixels that our eyes can see. So then they have to just make everything else look really good, like the
lighting,
foliage and the lighting and stuff. Yeah, so it is going to keep getting better in just different ways. So,
and that was one of the biggest parts of that photo we posted was like the lighting. You just see like the tracer rounds like flying around in the background, like explosions, and I don't know, real good looking.
I'm going to kind of keep it short, but like, I think this game is the best game ever made.
Okay, here we go.
No. I am blown away by how much fun I'm having with this game. This is I wanted to be hesitant before it came out, because I'm like, this is the game I want. I think it could be awesome, but who knows? They also made Battlefield Hardline, so who knows? But just saying, no, it's really, really, really good. If you like Battlefield games, I guarantee you will like this game. It is. I was telling Ladoni the other day in chat, like he was trying to understand why I liked it so much, and I'm like, I'm 50% history nerd, and a lot of that is World War II, and then I'm 50% video game nerd, and this game combines those two in a really good way. So that's why I like it so much. But then also on top of that, it's a really, now this is completely subjective, I would argue it's the best feeling shooter ever.
Have you played Titanfall 2, sir?
I have. But now hear me out when I say this. And a lot of people are going to hear this and think, well, I don't think it would be, and I get it. It's opinion. But Battlefield has now made a game to where if you could have took the last Battlefield and made the base multiplayer more like hardcore mode, to where people die quicker, headshots actually count, like things like that just matter more, and there's no 3D spotting, and you actually have to try to figure out where people are, and you don't just have this little red Dorito showing you over a distance exactly where somebody is. Like, that's kind of what they've made here, and it just feels really, really good in terms of how quick people die. With that said, it's not like if you start getting shot and you're not looking at them, you're done for. Like, you do have time to react and kill that person, but it's just much more heavily based on skill now.
Speaking of headshots, in that beginning mission, every dude I shot in the head, his helmet popped off. Is that a reoccurring thing?
No, I noticed that too in the mission.
It was
and I don't know if they just
every dude I shot, his helmet just went flying 10 feet in the air, and I was like, what is going on?
I'm not sure what that was all about, but I noticed that too.
That's so weird.
Now, online, you do get that very rewarding, like, ting sound, when you get a headshot, so that's kind of nice. But no, the helmet does fly off sometimes, but no, not always.
Good. That was really ruining the immersion for me.
Yeah. But all I can say is, like, if you have EA access, you can go play 10 hours of it. I have been rationing my hours out.
Tell us how much you have left.
I have exactly an hour and 29 minutes left.
And you have all day Wednesday off.
Yeah,
the day before the game comes out.
Yeah, I have 2 work days, and then I have Wednesday off, and then I took a couple pay time off days so I could have a long stretch for this game. And
so you're gonna have even more to say next week. Maybe we should cut you off here,
or nothing else really, because it's one of those things. Like, unless you've really played it too, there's nothing else much to say other than I would also say if you play the EA Access, the 10 hours, go online, play the level Arras. It's like these French fields, like yellow sunflower fields with like a town that they definitely heavily took inspiration from Saving Private Ryan, the town in the end of that movie they fight in.
Yep.
I felt like I was in that movie when I was playing online in multiplayer on that. It's just like if you have headphones and you do 3D audio, it just sounds incredible, as all Battlefield games have. But then couple that with how good it looks, how good the shooting feels. Like when they add the ability to drag players that are downed into cover, it's gonna almost be like, in a way, yeah. And the reason I also say that, and they're actually adding that in 2 weeks. I think they said they're actually adding that in quicker than people thought. So that'll be here, I guess, roughly when most people normally would be able to play it. But the other thing I was going to say that also makes it feel super real is because when you go down, you have a time period where you're bleeding out and you're like screaming for people to come help and revive you. So you know how I told you guys before? Well, the developers purposely didn't make it to where you could shoot those people, because then that just gets like realistic in a weird kind of bad way, to where like in war you would have people injured, and like Saving Private Ryan, when they're running past injured soldiers, the Germans are shooting them just so they don't have to worry about them, picking up a gun and shooting them in the back or something.
Yeah.
Well, people kind of got around that, because if you have incendiary grenades, you can throw them on people that are down bleeding out and they will die quicker. So nobody can revive them. It's kind of took a dark turn. But anyways, but yeah, when you have the ability later on to drag people behind cover, it's gonna be even that much better. But that's all I've got to say about it. I would just recommend playing the if you have EA Access, try it out for yourself. I think it is the best Battlefield since Battlefield 3, in my opinion. So.
But you say EA Access, I'm struggling.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, unless you're chocolate and it's just totally screwing you over, maybe.
Yeah, I am not a happy bunny.
What's going on, Chocolate, with your with your trial here?
It just kicking me square in the gonads. Every time, so I jump onto EA Access, then you have to press download, don't you, to try and start the trial or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then it just comes up red and says press and repair. And that's it.
It says press and repair?
Yeah. Very strange. I'll do a picture of it. Well, I can't now.
That's weird. What?
Yeah. So I've deleted the EA Access, and that then gave me the ability to try and redo it. However, the same message came up. I've just deleted my pre-order, and now I'm going to see if I can re-download it through EA Access and see what happens there.
I've been playing Xbox a long time, and I've never had my Xbox ask me to please repair something that I've downloaded.
Were you at a mechanic shop, or were you playing your Xbox? I don't know what's.
I give up. Life for me and my Xbox is just it's so wrong.
Yeah, so you didn't get to actually try it out then.
No.
That sucks.
But the kids are at nursery tomorrow, so if I fix it, I might actually get to jump on.
And you'll have 10 hours waiting for you.
10
unless
hours.
Somehow it deleted your 10 hour.
Yeah, my luck would be you have 1 hour left. Oh, no, sorry, it was 59 seconds. Oh, fantastic.
And we got halfway through a loading screen.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's another good thing about it too is that it's really good to play with squad members. Me and Chaotic and Maldo and Thousand Fists got together and played. Really, really good squad-based game. I mean, like all Battlefields have been, but I feel like this one, for some reason, just feels even better because the attrition system, you have to rely on your teammates a lot more. So, in that sense, I think it's even better, like co-op game like that now too.
You need to talk me through the clip of this kamikaze Chaotic going through on the vehicle.
I'll set this up real quick. So basically, we're on the desert map Haras, and there's these 3 points on a kind of a more of a plateau ridge line that you have to cross a bridge to get to. And we had went over and we had took 2 of the 3 points, and we were taking the last one, which is an airfield, and you get actually an extra plane spawn if you take this one. So it was kind of important. And me and Moose and I guess this was when Moose was playing with us. I said Maldo. Maldo did at one point, and I think Moose did at another point. And this was when Moose was with us, and me and him are running up over this ridge, and we're like, oh yeah, there's 3 Germans down there behind sandbags. They're building it up. They're really entrenched. Like somebody's gonna have to go around or something. And literally, as we're saying all this stuff, trying to like spot them and point them out, you see this half track just come blazing through the left side and just plows over these sandbags and this AA gun and flips almost on its side and then just keeps running around. And you see these like Germans just like running away like the other direction. And then of course we gun them down when they run out in the open. And it was like freaking chaotic that had just come through with this half track and just like guns blazing just plowed through this entrenched like spot. And we're just like, all right. That works. We got it.
His name change has never made so much sense.
It totally did. And the whole time he was silent, like he wasn't even talking on the mic, and I'm just like, my man.
No, I've got this.
Chaotic.
Yeah, I've got this.
Yeah, that's how the Allies won the war, was acts of courage like that. So, yeah, there you go.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
They had the trial for the campaign. I think they had one mission that you can play.
Oh, yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah.
I started that like right before the podcast pretty much. I don't know what the rest of those scenarios are going to be like, or those little stories, but this first one, you're like a criminal and you're getting signed up for this like elite hit squad where it's like this unit is not for people with military backgrounds. It's for like criminals and just awful people.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of that terrible DC movie that I can't think of the name of.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. It's like, this is like
Chocolate nailed it.
the World War II Suicide Squad mission. And I was pretty pumped to get into it. But I stopped. So
yeah. I think that's theoretically supposed to be like the early days of the SAS and the SBS, the special. Is it the special boat service, the British Special Forces?
Are you
Chocolate?
asking us?
No, well, Chocolate. I mean,
that's
the,
What, the Navy SEAls? Is that what we're talking about?
well, they have like SAS and SBS, right?
I don't know about SPS. So they have the SAS, yeah. The SPS.
Okay, and that's the
pass.
Special Air Service, and then I thought the SBS was Special Boat Service, but I could be wrong. But
Either
I
way,
think
that
that's
seems like
yeah.
a cool mission. So if that's any indication of how the rest of these are going to go, I'll definitely be playing some of the campaign. And I'm going to try my best to not play 40 hours of Blackout this week and actually get some solid Battlefield 5 time in. The campaign's always been my thing, so I'll definitely be looking at those and trying to squad up with you guys.
Oh.
I didn't want to waste any of my precious 10 hours on the campaign. Does that make me a bad person?
Those are war stories, sir.
I'll quote what I told Moose. I don't want to waste my precious 10 hours on any of the trash that isn't multiplayer. I'm just kidding.
My heart hurts.
Hey, the funniest thing about that app picture about Call of Duty that Moose posted on the Discord, though, Risky, was when you look up at his average friends hours.
Oh,
was
God.
the best part.
What was it?
It was 15.
And mine was 107.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he posted that, I was like, why don't you post some of the other stats, you jerk? Like the KD or the kills per game or anything that I'm also topping the charts on, not just hours played.
Oh, that was good stuff.
Gotta throw shade.
God. Yeah, I gotta do something about that. It's I don't know, Battle Royale is just so far up my alley. It's so good.
Hey, man, I mean, like, as soon as Battlefield 5 drops, I'm going to be... It's not like I'm going to be able to call you out on anything. Like, I'm dying because I only have, quote-unquote, 10 hours to play over 2 days. So,
True.
You know, yeah, it happens.
So eventually this podcast will be talking about other things besides Battlefield 5, FIFA, and Blackout.
Actually, that's our... Yeah, there you go. You just hit... Yeah, you
the
can...
trifecta.
Yeah, there you go.
January. That's what we're aiming for, lads. January.
Perfect. Like, there's so many games coming out next week, and I looked at them and I was like, I don't have time for any of you. So
well, Smash Brothers is still coming out too in December. Like,
luckily, that's one game I won't be getting. So perfect. And it's just because I
Wait a second.
I
So
suck
you
at
were
Smash, dude.
So you were all in
about
on
Mario Party. 100%.
Like, Mario Party is the holy grail,
Yep.
but Smash Brothers cannot buy your time.
No, not at all. Not even close.
I'm speechless.
Doc, if you were really terrible at basketball, would you continue to play basketball for hours and hours and hours, even though you suck and you're not getting any enjoyment out of it?
I mean, Chocolate plays FIFA, so...
Okay, yep, fair enough.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Point taken.
Right, I think I'm going to leave the
Chocolate
Battlefield
is
platoon.
booking a ticket to Kentucky as we speak, and I will be dead by
Oh,
tomorrow.
I think my daughter is crying. See you guys later.
Yeah. Then you just hear a knock at his door with my size 10s. Right.
Screaming, and then a mute, and then I'm talking on a podcast by myself until Chocolate creepily picks up the mic. And he's like, "Hello."
Hello, Clarice.
This is Doc. It's
his-
totally you, Chocolate.
His
We can
best
tell.
Kentucky accent.
God damn it. No, terrible. Let's
What
keep
was
moving.
that? That's
No, I haven't.
normal
I just think-
Chocolate.
When he does that, I just think Archer too. I just think of Archer when he does that
Lana!
voice too. So
Lana!
exactly.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
All right. Anything we may have missed?
No.
No? Nothing?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Well, we alluded to this earlier. We recently had a game of Rocket League between us and the members of another community challenge, of another podcast community. And you're about to hear some of that. So let's get into some Chocolate's Call Out Challenge / podcast wars.
You're not meant to laugh at the title. The podcast match of the century happened. Cross Atlantic Gaming versus Real Gamer Score in Rocket League. The match was beautiful. I carried my team to victory. And now, this is set up for round 2. All I have to say is Real Gamer Score. You need to practice. I've got my fade grips on, 'cause I ain't losing. Come get us.
Well, that took a weird turn. So, all right.
I was like, are me and Doc supposed to chirp in with our weird pseudo wrestler things? And then I decided no, probably not a good idea for us to try. So it was a good
really
game.
posh as well.
So, you guys want to talk about the game and the spanking we gave? Well, honestly, it went to game 5, so it couldn't have been that bad.
It's the first game we put it into drive. They
Yeah,
they
Chocolate
didn't know
somehow scored 2 goals. He's never scored 2 goals in a game of Rocket League in his
Yeah.
life. And then at this critical moment when we needed him most, he somehow shows up for at least one game, which I'm stoked. One game was
he was
enough.
Yeah, he went Kobe. He was the hero we needed but didn't deserve. He went Kobe on us.
Listen, I thought I set the standard for you guys. I was telling you this is how I want you to play. You both to play.
I didn't think
then
I
I
was
took a
going to have
back
to
seat.
step up my game. And you
Yeah,
made
oh
me.
Well, you were poor in the first game.
I scored just as many goals as you dick.
You stole one of my goals.
That's how I roll.
But yes, you were the saves off the line. It was probably one of the best 3-on-3 games I've ever played, without a shadow. Forgetting about the result, the fun, the ridiculousness, the ping. Oh my god, the ping!
Oh Lord!
Oh,
So
yeah,
where
let's-
did we have? We have Australia, UK, and
The
East
US.
Coast of the US. And we're trying to find the ideal server for everyone. So like the first game, my ping was the best ping at 190. And then every game after that, it's like somebody would be in yellow, a few people would be in orange, and then the other half would all be in red, which just means your ping is in 300s. What a nightmare.
There were times where you would be like trying to anticipate a ball coming down, and then some Jedi from the stands just levitated the ball momentarily before it decided to then drop again. So it was not how gravity or physics work at all, but it was, playable. So
And I suppose the good thing is, game 1 of 5, we've taken the win here. We're coming to or hoping to get something for our community to give away at Chin Doctor's, Pluto's, and Spaceman's expense. So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
looking forward to that.
Need to lock up 2 more games.
That's okay. This is
What do we got up next, Chocolate?
it's
IDARB.
IDARB.
Didn't you just
IDARB.
listen to the call out, bro?
I did. What?
I did. Yep,
I
definitely.
did.
Just making sure you guys did.
I played
Yeah.
a little bit of IDARB,
job.
but I don't know. That'll be an interesting one.
Oh, yeah, I think that's going to be another one that potentially, like Rocket League, has the ability to just have an all-out mess, carnage. Yeah,
I feel like that one's kind of like crazy enough that could really truly go either way also because like I like are there IDAR pros out there? I don't know, but
If there are, I'd love to meet them.
give us some tips.
The pro scene's really crazy, man. Let me tell you.
But we'll tweet out a couple of days before the game when we get a date set. But also, when we stream it, the communities or the guys watching can really throw some curveballs up there because I think it's got Twitter.
It's got Twitter integration, yeah.
Oh my
IDARB
God.
does.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah.
this actual game could go. We could be, or whoever could be flying, and some lovely member watching could just throw a complete and utter curveball in there for us.
And we
So-
need to get the dates out when this is happening because if the turnout from their community and then the turnout from our community are the ones in control of the the Twitter stuff, we are in trouble.
Yeah. And I
Come
suppose-
back
Yeah,
us
we
up.
need the cross Atlantic community out in force for this.
And as soon as we have a tentative date for that, we said beginning of December, right, is what we're shooting for. Probably
Yeah,
first
that's what
weekend
we're
in
hoping
December.
for.
And as soon as we lock down actual dates and times, we'll make sure to tweet that out. We'll post it in Discord, everywhere. This is a lot of fun, and we're not working towards nothing here. We're working towards getting a little gift that they're paying for that we're giving back to you guys, the community. So
And that'll all be on our Mixer channel. So I suppose a nice little segue to go follow us on Mixer. And I think, what's the handle on that, Doc?
Cross Atlantic Gaming.
is it actually the whole thing? I'm pretty sure it's CAG Podcast.
Also CAG Podcast.
Yeah.
Cross Atlantic Gaming in spirit. CAG Podcast on handle.
So
You're welcome.
go give us a
I
follow.
swear I'm here completely focused.
Focused and not thinking about Battlefield.
He's probably just playing
An
his
hour
last.
and 27.
Yeah, he's playing it right now.
Hold on. No, now I'm not. No, I'm just kidding.
And quit and save the time. Good.
There's only an hour and 27 minutes left, guys. I gotta, if I'm gonna do it, it's gotta have my full attention. So I can't
Fair
multitask
enough.
that.
But yeah, shout out to Real Game Score podcast and that match we had. It was definitely a lot of fun. That's comedic gold, I think, listening to everybody yell at each other and that thing.
Those guys were fun to play with.
And that'll be posted up on our YouTube channel. Links for that are in the show notes. So
Yeah,
definitely go check that out.
It should
There
be
was
hopefully
definitely one part.
live.
Yeah, I think it should be live by the time of this. And I want to say there was one part, speaking of the commentary, to where we had won 2 games, they had won 1, and they were about to win the second, and I think they had just scored a goal with very little time left to put them in the lead. And me and Risky and Chocolate weren't saying anything because we were actually, it was getting into that try hard time, like sweaty palms, try hard time. And I just remember Spaceman going, "Oh, it got real quiet in here just now," and nobody said nothing.
I messaged you guys after that, and I was like, my blood was boiling in that second game that we
Yeah.
lost. Like, I wanted to whip my controller across the room, so I probably muted myself at
Yeah.
that point just so I wasn't.
I think that was the
ruining
part where we were
everything.
down a goal and we went power play and everybody went on offense and a ball just squirted out
Oh.
towards our goal and I'm just like FML like
Yep. Just everybody's
Yep.
watching it. Just roll back in our goal. We're all
Yep.
up by their goal. And it's just like,
And I-
well, all right.
I think everyone destroyed me as well. I got taken out every game.
Yeah, Professor
Well, they're
Pluto
definitely starting to-
really put a beating on me that whole game. I was just exploded all the time.
what's that guy in hockey called that always
The
he's
Goon.
like the bruiser, the goon. Yeah, Professor Pluto totally became the
Their
goon,
goon.
for them.
That's what you do with the worst player, right?
Oh,
Oh.
Just fueling the fire. That's all I'm doing. Fueling the fire.
I can't wait to see how the ping affects iDarb. It's gonna be a shit show. What?
Flip a coin. We'll see who wins. Wonderful. All right.
All right.
Well, from that, you guys want to talk about some news?
All right, guys. Quick Hits is back. It never went anywhere, so I don't know why I said that. Anyways, moving on. After nearly 5 years, guys, I am out of it. I don't know what's going on. I'm pulling a chocolate tonight. So
What is it? Almost 2 in the morning there for you?
No, I don't have that as an excuse, and I've not been drinking, so I don't know.
You taking your own medicine?
Ah, there it is.
Oh.
I don't got any good ones, so I don't know. Anyways, after nearly, guys, we're just gonna end on a showstopper right here. After nearly 5 years, are you ready?
Yes.
Bated breath. I'm holding it.
Drum roll.
DayZ has moved into beta.
What?
Yes, it happened.
So what was DayZ in before? Just an extended 5-year alpha?
I guess alpha question mark.
So is that because this is coming or it's already on? Did it
Yeah,
come to Xbox and PlayStation?
Yes, and it's is it on PlayStation?
I don't know. It might just be.
I don't know. Anyways, it's who knows
cares,
what
really?
it's even on or it. So came out 5 years ago. Well, close to 5 years now. 4 years and I want to say 8 or 9 months. Steam Early Access has been in, I guess, alpha ever since. And I think me, along with everybody else, kind of forgot about it. I guess I guess everybody remembered that it was a thing when it came to Xbox preview program, but it officially moved into beta.
Yeah, every couple of years they do something to put themselves on the radar, and this is just their yearly. Hey, we're still here, and now we're in beta.
It's like what? So I don't know. 5 years from now, I guess we'll have 1.0, and yeah,
no
0.9.
longer.
long. Yeah, let's be. Yeah, Rissy's like, calm down now. It's a decade. It's gonna be 10. Anyways, yeah. So DayZ is in beta, and there you go, guys.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Destiny 2 is not performing to Activision's expectations. This comes via Game Informer. In a recent Activision earnings call, they basically laid out that they are not meeting their financial goals they had set out for the big Year 2 expansion.
Well, Doc, when you make a game originally and it's a good game, and then you come out with a second game that is subpar and doesn't touch the first game, this is what happens. People don't want to pay for your pile of garbage.
But Risky, at least all my characters carried over, though.
No,
right?
Doc, someone misinformed you. This is not a 10-year journey, sir. The tower was exploded.
So,
did you
do you guys think they might be run? Or go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, did you pay for the extra Risky?
I paid for the most expensive goddamn version of Destiny 2 that I could buy, Chocolate, and then I bought DLC afterwards. How does that make me feel? Take a guess.
Not 100 and
100%
something
fantastic.
hours. Well,
Oh my god. Good. I'm glad. Hopefully, this either makes Destiny 3 not a thing, or it makes them have to make a decent game for Destiny 3.
Destiny 3 will definitely be a thing.
And it'll definitely have Battle Royale.
Well,
that goes without saying at this point, right?
Maybe sooner than Destiny 3 if it was actually bad enough on the earnings call, I guess. But do you guys think that they're good? What am I trying to say here? Goodwill is running out, maybe, from the D1 community.
people are still playing this, right?
Who?
Well,
I mean,
don't know
some
who.
people, I guess. No one that I know of.
With all that said, I mean, like, they did make a lot of money, I'm sure, on this, but I guess to what their goal was, maybe, they didn't. And whatever their marketing budget and stuff was, maybe not. But
Right. If they made more money than they made with Destiny 1 and somehow put out a crappier product, that's probably a win for them then. They don't see it that way. But
yeah.
in my eyes.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I've kind of been out on it ever since probably 2 or 3 months after the D2 launched. I mean, I played the first raid, beat it, but I don't think I've really played it much since then. So
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm probably talking trash about. I heard this latest update or whatever was actually really good, but you can only mess with me so many times before it takes a lot of willpower to get into your game, and I don't want to force myself to play something, and that's exactly what was happening with Destiny 2 towards the end. So
Yeah. I mean, by all accounts, it sounds like this Forsaken is really good, but yeah, I think I might finally be Destinied out. So
until Destiny
Anyways.
3. Moving on.
Until Destiny 3, it's gonna be so rad. Anyways, moving on. Updated shopping cart and wish list coming to Microsoft Store. Now we've already been over this with Risky. Wish list don't matter to him,
No, sir.
because why put him on a wish list when you could buy him now?
Doesn't make sense. Cut out the middleman.
That's my gut list.
So that will be kind of cool though, because inevitably Microsoft has like middle of the year, Black Friday, and Christmas big sales on their digital store. So that could be kind of nice to have that and check back with stuff on your wish list and maybe buy it at an opportune time. So that's nice that they're adding that, even though it might not be super useful.
This might be good for me because this is a bad time right now for all these other games because I'm so involved in only a couple games, but like.
You might not be as trigger happy as you
right,
normally
like
be.
Hitman 2 is coming out, and Fallout 76, and there's a few things where it's just kind of, or like even Odyssey. I didn't pick up AC Odyssey. Like that's another one where it's like, well, I didn't buy these because I'm so wrapped up in other stuff, and usually that doesn't happen. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm getting better.
I totally forgot that 76 and Hitman 2 was coming out, and I genuinely want to play both of those games, and I don't know how I'm going to have any time aside from, like, Battlefield 5 is my Black Ops blackout for you, so, like, there's not enough time.
Well,
It's been
Go ahead, Chocolate.
I was just going to say, it's been a very heavy, I think this is probably the best release window we've had in a long time. I can never remember one saying, oh, I can't get this game because that one's coming out, and it's just brilliant.
And this is
like go ahead, Risky. I'm sorry.
Bad at this right now. I was gonna say this is without like Red Dead Online. I think is gonna be like a pretty substantial thing for me. If like GTA Online says anything about my gaming tendencies with the Rockstar games. So yeah, it's like that's not even another game I have to buy. That's a game I already own that's going to have this separate thing that is going to consume probably hundreds of hours. So yeah, and like Fallout 76 is literally just like there's no end to that game. I can't start playing a game that isn't going to end. So if
but that's a game. Oh, I'm sorry, Risky. I interrupted you again.
I would say, if anything, Hitman's probably the better game for me, even though with Hitman 1, I couldn't even get through it. So maybe I should just stop playing video games or just keep playing just Blackout for the rest of forever.
Well, Killzoy is 76, just judging by like Chaotic and Ladonian and a few in our community. I know there's going to be several in our community that's going to be really into that. So, like, I want to get into it, but, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when or where I'm going to find the time to sink any significant amount of time into it, So, I don't know.
Too much.
I say, isn't this always the case, though? It's like our biggest problem is not having enough time for all of the great stuff that's out. What a problem to have.
It is.
First world
problem. And we joke about our
problems.
backlogs and stuff, too, but I think games as a service getting more traction is only going to make that way worse because we're going to have more games with more stuff to do in them for longer, Back in the day, you could beat a campaign, hey, I'm done with the game, put it on the shelf, done. Now we're just like, oh, they just added all this free content. Crap. Woe is me.
That's why
now I got
it was so nice like a month or two ago when it's like we had like Spider-Man and God of War.
Yeah.
It's like things that I could see the end was like in sight.
Oh,
Need more of that.
Want to talk about first world problems? Spider-Man just came in the mail for GameFly for me. Yeah, can't wait to never play that.
Oh
now.
my no, you need to find some time to at least put a little bit of time into it. I know Battlefield is going to ruin any chance of that, but Spider-Man is so good.
I will. I've heard enough people talk about it in Game of the Year discussion that I'm like, I have to play.
I have
this,
to at least play some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, anyways, moving on. A lot of first world problems. XO18 happened yesterday. Did you guys get to watch that? Any?
I got to go to a website and read some highlights. So that
all
that's
right.
something, right?
Good enough.
I was at work.
So it sounds like you watched it, Doc.
All
right, well.
Not really, but I watched it after the fact. But we'll kind of go through some of the bigger stories here that came out from it, because there was some decent stuff coming out of this. You know, a lot of people wondered, like, are they going to have enough to talk about to have their own dedicated show? And I feel that they did. I feel like enough stuff came out of this.
It was 2 hours long, right?
Yes, 2 hours
Okay.
long. Yeah. So yeah, and it was in Mexico City, a fan event, kind of a la what PlayStation Experience is. And now apparently, you know, Microsoft did this back in the day. I wasn't quite as familiar with it when they did it back in the day. So so I don't know how much akin this event was to that. But anyways, we'll just dig right into it here. So Microsoft announced a bunch of studio acquisitions at E3. They hinted that there might be more news to come, but we hadn't heard anything else. We had previously in a podcast 2 or 3 weeks ago talked about how there was a lot of rumors of Obsidian being acquired, and it turns out that was totally true. Microsoft has acquired Obsidian Entertainment, and a little surprise, they also acquired In Exile Entertainment.
Are these not the same studio?
No. Which, I will be honest, In Exile I was not familiar with till I heard of some of the games they made. So, and I'll toss it over to you guys, but I'll kind of go through some of the games these studios made, because I think that's the best way to kind of get an idea of who Microsoft got here. Obsidian has they developed KOTOR 2, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, Alpha Protocol, Fallout New Vegas, Dungeon Siege 3, South Park: The Stick of Truth, and Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. I would argue pretty good pedigree. What do you guys think? Any of those games that stand out to you that you're fond of?
Oh, Fallout Vegas, without a shadow of a doubt.
Fallout New Vegas is best Fallout.
Yeah.
I would argue that might be the best Fallout. Yeah.
I will also say, just from this list, very RPG heavy.
Yes, I think that is what they do, and I would argue CRPG also. A lot of heavy focus on PC RPGs like Neverwinter, Pillars of Eternity. Stuff
I would
like
say
that.
that's the thing, is some of these I'm not familiar with, and it's because I've never done really PC gaming, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Pillars of Eternity 1 is on Xbox One now, and I think 2 is coming. I would recommend that to anybody out there that is really into RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, things like that, because that is that game all wrapped up in one, and it's pretty good. A lot of reading in it, though. That's the one drawback I would say.
I'm out. I'm out.
A lot of reading. You watch some YouTube videos sometimes. They expect you to read some pretty lengthy stuff sometimes. I think it's why they made such a big deal when Pillars of Eternity 2 come out. They're like, and it's all voiced over, and everybody was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, so much better.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. In Exile Gaming, not as quite a... they've made several games, but as far as like picking out some big names, not as storied of a history as Obsidian, but just to name a few, they did Torment, Tides of Numenera, Wasteland 2, which I really like that game actually, and Bard's Tale 4, Barrows Deep, which I think Kaboski's really big on that one actually.
And they're working on Wasteland 3 right now as well.
They are. And as best I could tell, that is still going to come to all platforms because Microsoft acquired them after they had already been developing.
That makes sense. And that's slated for sometime 2019, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah, the Wasteland series is definitely... I think it's because of the setting. Is like it speaks to me a lot more than something like Pillars of Eternity or Torment: Tides of Numenera.
Yeah, yeah. Think of old school. Actually,
Fallout.
it's from the people that made. I mean, a lot of these people in Exile Gaming they came from Fallout 1 and 2.
That makes sense as far as the parallels between Wasteland and the original 2 Fallouts.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wasteland 2 is in Game Pass now also, so I would recommend anybody give it a look. It's really good.
It's also on the Switch. Do it.
Oh, it is? No joke.
Yeah, I think that was...
Wow.
That
would be
I hope I'm not lying to people. I know it was announced for it. I'm not sure if it's out for it yet.
Well, it's at least coming towards it, because I would argue that would be the perfect place to play
as
that
long
game.
as they up the font of some of the reading.
Yeah, especially on that one.
Can I only play
Diablo
it docked?
3.
I only play it docked.
I love Diablo 3, but man, some of that font is hard to read.
Or Darkest Dungeon. That is the worst.
That might be the worst. Yeah. Yeah, anyways. Come on, Switch. You know better. You can do better.
But yeah, that's just another... It's... it's a bunch of RPGs again, and it's just weird that they're announcing these two studios who kind of, for better or worse, make the same games. Kind of.
I think maybe the big takeaway too is that I think Microsoft might be getting much more serious about their PC focused games also, and you could argue from the fact that Phil Spencer basically got on the show yesterday and was like, yeah, we get that the Microsoft Windows 10 store is not great. We're working on it. We realize it's not great. We're going to be working on it. And then I couple that with Xbox has now gotten mouse and keyboard support, and they're expanding the games for that. I think they're going to be much more open about putting PC games out that work on both Xbox and PC, obviously.
I was just about to say, do you think they're going to be pushing loads of... oh, God, what did they say when Halo Wars 2 came out? Cross-save.
Oh, well, all first-party games are automatically play anywhere, so yeah, 100%.
And Wasteland 2 is on Switch. It came out in September. Just in case anybody wants to play it on Switch. There you go.
I would highly recommend it. It's a good game. But yeah, that's they acquired those two studios, so they have a lot of studios now. So theoretically, in a few years, first party problem will no longer be a problem.
That's the thing. Like a lot of this just kind of seems like, okay, yeah, cool, you got some more studios, but nothing to really show for it. But it's like in a few years, you're gonna be like, man, all those Microsoft studios, they are pumping out some good games. It's a slow burn. We'll get there though.
Yeah.
Feels like they're setting up for the new console, aren't they? Kind of get all these
100%.
All these studios in, and then as this new console drops, the games, as you say, Risky, are going to be flying.
Yeah, for sure.
Like salmon.
Through a fresh water stream.
Yep. Should probably move on.
All right, Chocolate, okay. What do we got next?
We got Crackdown 3. That's right, you've heard it correctly. Crackdown 3. The game I thought was dead is releasing February 15th and is day in...
You and everybody else.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. It's been quiet. Day and date in Game Pass.
And that's the only reason that I will even maybe touch that game.
Yeah. It might be, even if the game doesn't pan out, I would say go watch the trailer promo they made for it yesterday. Terry Crews is a national treasure.
He's the only... That's the second reason that I will come to that game. Yes. Game Pass and Terry Crews.
Yeah.
100%.
All about Terry Crews. So there's a little bit of bump on this. Oh, go on. Sorry, Doc. What were you going to say?
No. Yeah, go ahead. I was just saying what Risky was. Yeah, Terry Crews is great.
I love him. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Nine-Nine.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And Old Spice. All right.
Don't forget Old Spice.
So, campaign multiplayer mode Wrecking Zone. So you're going to have 2 teams of 5 large-scale destructible arenas launching with 2 maps. So is this their...
Yep, cloud-based destruction.
Well, cloud-based...
No,
this isn't...
This is not, no. Now, I will say if there was ever a game that I thought they might have shoehorned Battle Royale into, I thought it was this, because it would be enough like Fortnite. You could almost see
and,
it.
Picking up those power orbs could do things for you in the Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, like a super goofy, superpower, wacky Battle Royale, but this is more just team deathmatch. But for what it's worth, even if the game doesn't pan out or if it sucks, this multiplayer did look really fun. And there was 50 story tall buildings that were just crumbling down in destruction and stuff. So it looks like it could be.
That's the thing,
cool.
Wasn't the whole cloud-based destructible environments? Wasn't that a big part of why this game got delayed at some point?
Yeah,
so much. So it's finally getting to see what this payoff is.
Who knows? Yeah, why it got delayed? It could have just been that it never was looking that great to begin with.
What this reminds me of in which Battlefield 4 maybe, that skyscraper that could be knocked down. Do you remember that? I'm just picturing myself.
Levolution.
Yeah, Levolution. What a word. Thanks, Battlefield. Yeah, I'm just picturing this being like that, standing up on top of a 50-story building and just watching it collapse, except for you'll probably be able to ride it down on a piece of cement and do a kickflip and yell a bunch of stuff or shoot some weird weapon
through the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly. So
your characters are clearly the way they move and the stuff they can do in this game. You're borderline a superhero because they were jumping 40 stories up on a single jump. So it's gonna be. It does look like it's gonna be fun in a very crazy nuts kind of way. So
It's in Game Pass. Why not give it a shot?
yeah,
It's free.
Day after
free.
Valentine's Day. What a good way to spend your day after Valentine's Day. That's all I
love
got.
you, but
yep. All right, moving on. They had announced mouse and keyboard support last month, and previously it had come to the Xbox Insider program to Warframe, which got me to download Warframe again and try it out, and it works really well, actually. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what all they do with it, and of course, at this event, they actually announced that they're going full-fledged more into it, and they announced 14 more titles that will now support mouse and keyboard.
Is that
I'm
DayZ
just gonna-
I see on there?
Oh, DayZ Beta is what you see on there,
Oh,
kind
my
sir.
bad.
So, yeah. The it is in beta. I don't know if you've heard, but it's getting
Sure
there.
have.
I'm just gonna name off a few of the bigger ones I would say here. Bomber Crew, which is in Game Pass. That's a really good game. I play a lot. Would highly recommend it. It's getting mouse and keyboard. You control like the World War II bomber that has multiple stations, gunner, posts, and all that stuff, and it's kind of cartoony looking, but it's really fun. DayZ, which we just named, is getting mouse and keyboard support, so cool. Strange Brigade, getting mouse and keyboard. Deep Rock Galactic, Warhammer Vermintide 2, Moonlighter. Whiskey.
With some of the inventory stuff, that might be good.
Yeah. Warface, which I didn't initially say because that game is a hot pile of junk. Anyways, War Thunder, which is kind of like War of Tanks, but just it actually has planes and boats and stuff, so that's I guess makes sense that would get it as well. And Fortnite actually is getting mouse and keyboard.
That's the biggest one, I think, here. Obviously.
Totally. Which they even had a video come out because even though they had addressed this previously, everybody's always like, well, I don't want to play a game if mouse and keyboard's going to headshot me from across the map because, mouse and keyboard. So Fortnite basically got out and made a video and said what everybody had said all along was that if you plug in a mouse and keyboard and you're using mouse and keyboard in Fortnite, you will then play against PC people.
Yeah, I would say it puts you
Done.
into a separate queue.
Exactly. You put you into a hopper for that, and
Which that needs to
So-
be. It needs to be like
Yeah,
that for all of
it-
these games,
with
to be
that-
honest. Anything that's multiplayer.
Yeah, and honestly, too, for a while now, the fact that XM or whatever it's called has been out there on Amazon for people to buy, and apparently they're not getting banned when they use it. I'm all for making it official and making hoppers for this kind
Yeah,
of
that
stuff.
the
Because
Zim 4 or whatever it was called.
that,
I
totally.
always wondered if games couldn't pick it up or something, or if there was
Well-
some reason it flew under the radar that people have been able to use mouse and keyboard for so long on Xbox. It's just
yeah.
are some of these kids I'm getting smoked by really that good, or are they on mouse and keyboard? I'm not going to put my
It's one
tinfoil
of those things
hat
to
on.
where. Well, yeah. I mean, they've asked people up at Xbox before. It's like, hey, do you know about this? They're like, oh yeah, we know about it. We can detect it. And I'm like, well, did you sending them a warning or you banning them? What's happening?
No, it's cool.
You-
No, it's
no,
it's
we
not.
we see that they're using it. It's like, okay,
You must not play video games and understand why this is a problem.
yeah, why somebody would bother to do this. So, anyways, at least now if it's official, theoretically they're hoppering people off into different things. So, I don't know.
That's good.
So a lot of games getting mouse and keyboard support, and I'm assuming more in the future. But yeah, that's cool. What else we got, Chocolate?
We've got Winter of Arcade, so a throwback to Summer of Arcade, coming to Xbox later this year.
Risky, I'm disappointed.
You got to edit this part out. What the fuck is going on?
I've listed 2 games that are hinted at coming to this, and he's like, I don't know what these games are. Those are 2 pretty big games that have been in anticipation for a while.
Right, I
so-
thought they were getting. Okay, right.
Yeah, Below is that like Dark Soulsy. Well, yeah, I will.
So,
get into
Chocolate,
it.
just
Right.
pick it back up with you just starting the headline over.
Yeah. Winter of Arcade, a throwback to Summer Arcade, is coming to Xbox later this year. Possibly Below or Ashen. What do you think, guys?
I think Ashen's a strong possibility because they said it's coming to Game Pass and that it is coming out this year, and they didn't say a word about it yesterday. So there's only so much time left before 2019. So
Microsoft's tight-lipped about their rumors.
And below is that Dark Souls-like top-down game that they showed like 4 E3s ago that everybody's been wanting to play and wondering where
Dude,
it's at.
I played that at PAX East this past year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like, that was the thing. The line for it, they had like 4 booths. It maybe took us like 15 or 20 minutes to get to play it. And that it's going to be really good. I think people are going to be pumped on this game. It's definitely worth the wait. A lot of fun, though. And this would be sweet if we're right about this for Winter of Arcade.
Yeah, I mean, now, we don't know, but that was the heavily insinuated kind of wink and nod about this one. So,
and then Ashen's
that's another one.
The weird no face game.
Yeah, also Dark Souls like that one's more similar to Dark Souls in the sense that it looks and plays like Dark Souls, and it's got a very unique artistic look to it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, agreed.
More money being spent. Why is Forza Horizon 4 on this?
Because you're so far into it that we need to talk more about it. Have you left the tutorial section yet, Chocolate?
I'm in winter. Anyway, let me go with this.
Oh, okay.
Forza Horizon 4 is getting a new expansion coming out later this year, and potentially later the year after I'll be able to play it. Fortune Island, Lightning Storms. I'm not even going to read that one.
Aurora Borealis. You've never heard of the Aurora Borealis, Chocolate?
No.
All right, continue.
Thank you, sir. You're going to make me sound like such an idiot when this podcast comes out. Big Rocky Mountain. Touche, sir. Touche. Big Rocky Mountains with winding roads in preview trailer.
That's why it's perfect when we don't read these beforehand. That's why that works out so well.
It does not help me at all.
So these are all things that you saw in a trailer you watched, Chocolate? That's what it sounds like.
Were. It sounds like that. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Sounds like if you want to know exactly what's going on here with this new Horizon 4 expansion, you should check out the trailer for the new expansion coming out called Fortune Island.
That's what I was trying to say.
I have to, the enunciation just nailed it. I have to say, Chocolate,
the
that
Aurora Borealis.
Close
I gotta apologize a little bit because the main reason I did include this was because you weren't out of the tutorial yet.
You're such a son of a...
Hey, to be fair, super long tutorial. So
how many more have I got left? How many seasons have I got? Have I got to do spring and summer? One more.
Spring. No, I think spring is actually the last one.
Spring's
I want to say.
One, right?
Yeah.
You're so close.
The thing is, I'm riding on the winter and I can't get any traction at all. My car's backside. No, I don't know how to tune a car. I get people for that kind of stuff.
Posh Bear.
Posh Bear who can't read. Yeah.
Where does your education come from? I'm so confused.
The toilet. I haven't got an education. What
is this made-up Aurora Borealis you speak of? Trash science.
I'm going to have to Google that stuff. But yeah, whatever. I'm just lost. I need someone to tune my car. Tell me how to do it.
Will you Google Aurora Borealis right now and tell me you don't know what that is?
Okay, let me just mute myself.
It blows my mind.
Actually going
it's good because I want him to, because there's no way he doesn't know what it is.
I bet as soon as he sees it, he'll be like, "Oh, that's what that is."
The green lights in the sky. Why don't they just call it the green lights in the sky?
He'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's the skybox in Skyrim. That's what it is."
It looks like the Northern Lights.
Yes.
Okay, I've never heard.
That's what it is. Yeah.
You wrote down the wrong word, Doc. You should have wrote down the Northern.
Sorry,
do you know what? I've never heard it called that.
That's weird. Maybe that's an us thing. It's an American thing.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Maybe you should both just back off me.
No, it's much more fun.
I was like, maybe you should both suck a big one because I
love taking a piss.
Oh, touche, sir. I tip my hat. So, moving swiftly on from the shite show that I have just created, 16 games were announced for Xbox Game Pass. PUBG. Oh.
Aptly timed.
Ooh. Okay. Ori 1 and 2 at release. You've got Thief of Thieves Season 1. They must have just sat in a room and gone, so what should we call our game? Well, you thieve. Let's call it Thief of Thieves.
A lot of thieving by thieves. So.
God. So you got Void. Can I say bastards?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a title.
Cool. Hellblade. I'm actually looking forward to that one because so many people have said how good this is, and I'm yet to play it. So free is good.
It's one of those, can't believe I bought that, never played it, and now it's in Game Pass games.
And that will be ready for Halloween next year. The Good Life, Kingdom, Two Crowns, Aftercharge, Supermarket Chic,
Shriek.
Shriek.
Okay, that almost tickled me. Mutant Year Zero, Pathological 2. Oh, this is gonna get Pathological 2. Secret Neighbour, Agents of Mayhem, MXGP3, Thomas Was Alone, and don't make me read anymore. My God.
I'm not going to say anything about what I'm laughing about so hard, but I kind of wish that was a game too. But anyway.
Out of those,
What are you guys
most excited
enjoying
for?
out of that? Yeah, definitely.
Ori 2 for sure. Because they had speculated whether or not that was going to be a day and date because Microsoft doesn't own that studio, but they're kind of getting the exclusive rights to the game, so that was one I wasn't sure was coming to Game Pass.
And then the one for me would be Mutant Year Zero, because I didn't know they had any type of ties to Xbox or Microsoft at all. But that's that like XCOM looking game with like mutant ducks and stuff like that.
Oh, that's what that game is. Holy crap, I didn't know that. Yes, I'm
Isn't
excited
that
for
awesome?
that one.
Because I read that, I was looking through this list, I was like, okay, whatever, and I was like, oh, that game's not even out yet, and it looks really good.
I was watching that on on YouTube. That looked really cool. Yeah, that's exciting.
And if you haven't played Thomas Was Alone, I played this a long time ago. That's a good little indie game. I feel like it's like 2 hours long, 3 hours long, and it's all about shapes. And there's like a audio track with it, or like voiceovers, I guess, for what's going on. And it's super unique, but it's actually really good. I liked it a lot. So that's a good one.
It looked really different. Yeah, when I was looking, it was like shapes and stuff moving. It was
like each shape has its own name. Like Thomas is like a square or a rectangle or something. It's like a triangle named Susie shows up, and it's a weird little story with shape. It's the weirdest thing. Just
It looks
give it a look.
really, really weird.
It is for sure.
Agents of Mayhem. That's that Crackdown
man.
like. Am I
That's
thinking right? Is that what that
Pile
is?
of something. I played that one.
Oh, okay. So that's a Warface type game. Okay, cool.
That was a red box for me when it came out.
Yeah. Good thing it was, apparently.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if they've added stuff to it, but when it came out, it was real bad. It made me want to play Saints Row because it was the people that made Saints Row, and that's all I wanted. But it was nothing like Saints Row. So
I wanted to say Saints Row like. That's what I meant. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, yeah.
Not a very good game, but maybe it's gotten better.
I think this is PUBG's last hurrah before.
I think Microsoft are trying to flog a dead horse now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad that it's coming to Game Pass, but I mean, I'm of the opinion that it probably needed to go free to play a while back. But
yeah, but now they need to kind of step it up with how good Blackout is, and how Fortnite just running away with it. I don't know. Well, I do know. PUBG are too many steps behind, I feel.
But did you hear that they're adding the Joker and Harley Quinn skins to PUBG?
When I saw
that,
I almost thought that was a joke.
Have you seen the skins?
Yeah.
How they look nothing like those characters.
Oh, not only that, they took inspiration from the worst iteration of those
Suicide
characters too. Yeah, so quite the one to take inspiration from.
Rough.
And am I right? Are they $15 for one?
No! I think it's actually $25. I want to say it's definitely more than 15.
The game costs $30.
Or maybe here, let me look this up. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a stupidly high priced.
I'd love to look at a chart of what their concurrent players has done over the last like few months, or even after the last month when Blackout came out.
Okay, I'm looking at it right here. The Joker is $20, and Harley Quinn is $25.
What the?
Well,
you
isn't that
can't-
perfect?
A piece.
So there's no deal.
So
for...
actually, it's $45 if you
$15 more than their game for these. Man, you wonder why you're failing.
This is a legitimate site. I think this is for
Like,
real.
make your game playable at least first.
What were they thinking?
That's incredible.
But
I didn't know they were
Have
that
you seen the
expensive.
Have you seen the images?
I'm like,
they are.
it looks like somebody just opened up Unreal Engine on their computer for the first time and just messed around with Microsoft Paint
It's
or
as
something.
if I
like
gave
that.
my
It's not great.
son the colours to colour it in. It's so bad.
I gotta admit, I thought you were right, Chocolate, when you said that because I thought maybe it was a combined price at $25. But
That would make
no.
way too much sense.
No, I knew
And
it
how
was
weird
silly.
is that they're slightly different priced too? 20 for Joker and 25 for Harley Quinn.
Well, Harley
Like,
Quinn looks
what?
better.
She does. Well, but yeah, but like, does she have more pixels per dollar? I guess, or something like.
No, more colours, so they had to get that extra.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. That is wow.
And sorry if you're a PUBG player, but yes. Oh,
there's better
man.
there's better battle royale games out right now. Go play them.
Yeah, they're $60. Right,
And worth
There
it.
is.
Do you want me to take this next one, Chocolate?
you can do. I could say PSA, but go on.
Okay, we just a quick few public service announcements for y'all. I'm not Southern. Don't know why I said y'all. You're welcome, Doc. You don't.
You've been listening to
Yep,
me too
apparently.
much.
Mass Effect Andromeda got a 1X enhanced patch. It's also 360 back compat. Oh, no, man. I need to... You know, Chocolate? I tried taking this away from you because I was like, I
Look.
could read better than Chocolate.
I'm not purposely trying to
I
trip
think
anybody
Doc
up either.
just can't write. It's not our fault. It's Doc's fault. These are
It's as well.
very different announcements.
What? I think me and Doc together are not helping the situation.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm not
Two
guilty
separate
here.
statements. Mass Effect Andromeda got a 1X enhanced patch, so that's hopefully 4K. And also, we have a 360 back compat game, and that is Civilization Revolution. Is that the announcement here?
Okay.
Yes. It also got 4K X enhanced. So, yeah, I actually thought you would like that because I know you like that
Yeah,
as well, right?
that game
Bruce?
was
You
awesome.
play-
That, that is my
Yeah.
Civilization game for whatever reason.
Yeah. I feel like that could actually benefit a lot from being in 4K and like just
Because
really
it was
sharp,
it
so.
was such like a cartoony game that
Yeah.
it's just extra textures and whatnot.
So that's how it should have read.
Mass Effect Andromeda and Civilization Revolution. Yes, yep.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, Doc.
I'm good at math and not literature or writing, so yeah, there you go.
Original Crackdown is free until November 30th, so you have until the end of the month to download the first one if you want to check that out before the third one on February 15th. Final Fantasy VIII and 8-2 Lightning Returns are coming to back compat starting next week. Doc, I'm pretty sure it's 10 and 10-2.
And I know I took it from the article 8 and 8-2. 10 and 10-2 are coming out next year in
I
actual
didn't even
Xbox
know there
One
was an
releases.
8-2. What is Final Fantasy VIII?
Hey, dude, that's what when I look up Final Fantasy games, when I see 8-2 and all these, I'm just like, so is that the game with added DLC? Is this a new game? What am I even reading right now? Like, I don't even know how that stuff works. So,
Huh.
yeah,
Apparently that is a thing.
yeah. There's a lot of Final Fantasy games coming to Xbox in the next little bit.
Good.
So
I'm glad I took that little segment from you, Chocolate. I really
I
you can't polish a
it
turd.
panned
right?
out well.
I could have dragged that out for another hour and a half.
Hey, real quick, you guys like how Microsoft is pulling like a EA dice, and with how they kind of treat Battlefield Hardline as the redheaded stepchild they never talk about. You guys like how they're doing that with Crackdown 2? How they just don't
It's
talk about
not a
Crackdown
game.
2 like it never happened. Yeah, I'm getting that vibe, and I just think it's hilarious that there is. Not once has that came up in all this Crackdown discussion in the past few months.
That's kind of
so.
funny. I definitely didn't realize it, but now that you said it, I will
Yeah,
realize
they
the
just
void
never
that was
happened.
there.
But that could actually work in their favour, pushing and plugging Crackdown 2, and then when people play Crackdown 3, they'll be like, Crackdown 3 is really good, what an improvement.
Crackdown 2 was okay. It wasn't like a pile of trash. It just wasn't as good as the first. It didn't get the reception the first one did when it came out.
Well, the first one was new and shiny and good.
Well, the first one also, if you remember, the reason anybody even played it was because it was the only if you pre-ordered it, you got the demo for Halo 2.
Yes.
And that's the only reason half the people played it. And then people played it and were like, "Oh, this is kind of fun."
Yeah, I believe it was one of their best-selling games at the time, wasn't it?
I wonder
Because of
why.
that reason.
It totally was. Yep.
All right, and lastly, we'll leave you guys with the new games for the week. These are the games that are coming out this week. As of today, the 13th, you have Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which I also forgot that was a game. I used to love those games, but definitely won't be. That I don't have room for you, Spyro. I'm sorry.
He's saying he doesn't make the cut with these other ones?
And that same day, he's going up against Hitman 2. So that's some fierce competition. But hopefully,
What you're trying to say is we're having a Mario Party Assassin's Creed Odyssey here, of where Odyssey got killed by Mario Party.
keep
is
making
what
your
you're trying to
jokes,
say.
Doc.
The sales don't lie.
The day after that, which is weird, this is a Wednesday, Fallout 76 is coming out.
That's a strange day to launch.
Super weird. They didn't want to be pushed out by Spyro, dude.
Yeah.
They wanted to have the best sales on their day.
I have to say, that is the worst 3 days, well, 4 days, of games coming out. So this next one.
That is a lot.
Well, yeah.
So Battlefield 5, if you have the deluxe edition, is coming out this Thursday, the 15th. Or if you're a poor person, it's coming out on the 20th.
Didn't read that till now, and I got a kick out of that.
So yeah, and if you got in on the whole get the deluxe version for $62 or whatever it was, which hopefully most people did, you'll be able to play on the 15th. So that's cool. Civ 6 for the Switch is coming out Friday, and on that same day we have Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. Which those were another 2 games when they were announced.
Forgot
I was
about
like,
that.
yeah, I'm definitely going to play those. I don't know. I like Pokemon, but don't know. This sucks because it's a really good week for games, I feel like, and I don't know if I'll be playing any of them except for Battlefield because I paid for it already. So
That's a stacked week.
it is.
That is a stacked week. Because, like, Civilization 6 for the Switch, I'm excited to see what that is.
Or how
but,
that
like,
runs. That'll be the big
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I know beefy computers that can't play Civilization 6 well, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
I'm wondering if we'll get, like, a Civ Revolution type game since it's only on the Switch.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe.
Real quick, I wanted to say, you know how we thought it was like for the longest time, and I had no reason to believe otherwise that it was a glitch or some kind of mistake. We were all getting the deluxe edition for $62. Turns out it was actually legitimate, and if you were what was called a Battlefield veteran and had bought or played any previous Battlefield game, you got an additional discount on top of the EA Access discount. The problem was they made no effort whatsoever to surface that information.
And also, wasn't it only available at certain times? I feel like I missed it the first time, and then the next time it popped up, I was able to get it.
So it was initially, but then the second time it never went down. After the second time it stayed up.
It's still up
Yeah.
now because I had to redo it and change my
But like they
payment.
made yeah, that's right. EA really hates you, Chocolate. Like they've took a risky level of hate on you on this pre-order. So
They take a hot steamy one on me on FIFA. They're doing this to Battlefield. I might just leave.
So
What the heck?
God damn them.
as far as that deluxe edition goes, if you're listening to this on release on Tuesday, you still have a chance to get Battlefield 5, the deluxe edition, for the $62 or whatever it is if you played the previous games. So that's a pretty good deal. You have to buy it through. I feel like I bought it through Battlefield 1.
you do.
Yeah.
You do have to buy it through the Battlefield 1 like left little tab thing. Like it'll say like pre-order like I think it actually does it actually say pre-order
I think
Battlefield
so.
5 Chocolate or something?
No, well, it used to. It doesn't now. So it used to be in the main menu, but now you have to press the left bumper, go over to Battlefield 5, and then it will say pre-order, and then it will show your discount codes. I say your
definitely-
discount codes or your discount.
Just the discount in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely no other way to purchase it if you because if I had got that otherwise I would feel like kind of gypped or
Because
kind of
it's probably
cheated
what,
a little bit.
$80 for the deluxe?
Yeah, it's technically you're saving like 18. Now I should say that's the price if you also have EA Access
Yeah.
because that also gives you a 10% discount. Too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It just stacks. So
So if you go through the Microsoft Store, I think it's 70.
it's just the EA
something.
Access discount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But either way, if you want to try to take advantage of that, you still have a couple days before the release on the 15th.
Or if you have an EA Access that works, unlike Chocolate, you can play 10 hours even without the pre-order.
Yeah.
So
You'll play 10 hours more than I will.
Oh,
Wah, wah.
it'll probably work after the game launches, Chocolate.
Yeah, that would be my luck.
all right. Well, hey, we did it. We made it through episode 26.
Hello, all our new Japanese listeners, because we know you're out there now, apparently.
What a weird thing to say.
Just hey, we went from 3 to 27. That's a lot, okay? So
Yeah.
there's some cafe somewhere where they were just like, I don't know, like, hey, check out this podcast. These guys
I'm just
are weird.
glad you didn't do an accent right there. So thanks for that.
No. Look, I learned my lesson when you shot down my suggestion for the email section, or I don't know what section it was. We had a potential intro soundbite.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Yep. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm glad that-
So
I don't.
when I figured out that was going too far, I learned where the line was.
Chocolate,
at that
you can
point,
find it.
so.
It was sent to you as well. It's not great.
Where was it sent?
In our Discord somewhere. It was
It might be on the old.
it was
one, yeah.
someone saying you've got mail, but it was definitely like a nice
Oh.
Japanese woman.
Think of like anime Japanese
Yes,
character.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened to my mail? Never mind. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Now with Chocolate's down the Discord backlog rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
Well, now we can plug this show up, I guess. First and foremost, if you want to get to any of the following things I'm about to talk about, you can head on over to crossatlanticgaming.com. We do have a website, and it does have links to everything. If you want to keep up with us on a day-to-day basis and join in on the conversation, come hang out in Discord with us. We're all there, and we'd love you to be there too. Yeah, Discord's great. That's where it's the lifeblood of the community, as Doc would say. We're all there every day talking about everything, so come hang out with us. Links for that are in the show notes. If you'd like to support us with your hard-earned money, you can head over to patreon.com/CAG podcast, and you could take part in next month's Patreon drawing for a full-priced game. Woohoo! And congrats again
Yeah.
to the Chin Doctor. If you want to follow us on socials, we are at CAG Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. Why are you snorting, Chocolate? Because I'm not reading everything you're putting on the teleprompter.
I feel bad because I think I think I tipped him off to it, and I feel bad now, Chocolate. You can hate on me for that.
Well, you're saying that was left on from last week.
Was it?
That was Kabowski.
Oh, we're professionals, man. We are professionals with a capital P right there.
With a
Or
big P.
Some other P word, yeah.
And next, we also have our monthly mailbag episode, which happens at the end of each month. If you want to send in questions for that, you can DM us anywhere, but you can also send in your questions to cagpodcast@gmail.com. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of us, and all of them are good.
Yeah.
Merchandise. We have
I'm gonna-
merchandise. Sorry, there was one more thing.
Merch.
You can go to the merch room and use promo code CAG10 for 10% off your order. Links for that are in the description. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Take care.
Baby,
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Smell mop.
Smell mop
No,
poo.
poo.
Oh, that's amazing.
I knew the chocolate dad would like.
But it's even worse that we both replied at the same time too. So
Oh my god, that is so bad. It's so good. I'm gonna do that to my wife tomorrow.
yeah, of course you will.
Oh, that's
Oh my
amazing.
God.
But where did you find that terrible joke?
I don't know. And then the other one was, why can't you hear the pterodactyl going to the bathroom?
Oh Jesus, I don't
Why?
know.
Because the P is silent.
Jesus Christ.
Chocolate, if you don't know how to spell pterodactyl, the beginning of it starts with a P, not a T.